We call to order.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Here.
Mr. Porter?
Here.
Mr. Sherwood? Mrs. Smrek?
Here.
Ooh.
Harold, do you want to read the mission statement
I can do it again.
again?
What? Pledge?
I don't think we need to do the pledge again. No, we don't.
Vision and mission statement of the Austintown Schools. The Austintown Local School District is a united community with a proud legacy and a progressive approach to education. We provide an inspiring education that strengthens and prepares our students for unlimited future opportunities. I should know that by heart.
Number 5, agenda approval. Upon the recommendation of the treasurer, approve the agenda for the January 13th, 2022 Board of Education regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Number 6, public comments. There are no public comments? Nobody signed up? Number 7, building reports. From Fitch High School, Mr. Del Torrio.
Hi, everyone. This is my first report coming from the high school. I was a math teacher there, glad to be back as an administrator. The climate and the culture there are very positive right now. We've got a lot of good things going on. Right now, kudos to Mr. Bosch and his team, completing some major projects, one being one of our main restrooms the kids use for the boys looks outstanding. They did tile work. They are now working on replacing ceiling tiles and painting the frames black to give it a more updated and uniform look. Great job to our art department. At the Scholastic Art Awards, we got 2 gold keys, 4 silver ones, and 17 honorable mentions. In the athletic world, coming up, we have the Hepner, and also we're proud to say we had many college signings this month. We got a blood drive coming up. Students who are looking to attend MCCTC, there'll be a field trip that Mrs. Busico is going to be taking them on to get them acclimated and see if that's something that might fit for them. And then finally, our scheduling for the next year has begun and is underway.
Thank you, Mr. Del Torrio.
Thank you.
Austintown Middle School, Mrs. Vickers.
Good evening, everyone. Currently in AMS, we have our winter sports of basketball and wrestling going on, so congrats to our grade 8 Red Boys basketball team. They are currently undefeated, 10-0. Our grade 8 Blue Boys basketball team was undefeated until last week when they played the Red basketball team, so they lost to them. Congrats to our AMS Red wrestling team. They set a new school record last night by beating United 96-0. Second after-school enrichment program is going to begin the first week in February. This time we are offering karate. And unfortunately on the horizon, we're looking ahead to state testing. It is coming up in March. So that's what we're doing at the middle school.
Thanks, Mrs. Vickers. Austintown Intermediate School, Mr. Papagallo.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Same to you.
Hopefully everyone's starting off a good year. The principals at AIS, Ms. Owens, Dr. Reppy, myself, would like to welcome Mr. Markin. Give us our deepest welcome to you. We'd like to thank the board. It is Board Appreciation Week here in a few weeks, and we just are very grateful that all you do. We appreciate all your hard work. We finished up our second round of iReady testing for math and reading. We're in the midst of finishing it up. We have an ability awareness team. It consists of Tracy Odom, Paul Farman, Janet Vlakew, Carrie Copeland, Amy Fierce, Rupert Keenan, Linda Ankerman, Wendy Russo, Becky Harker, and myself. We've been planning to kick off our second year of Ability Awareness Week that begins January 24th and goes through the 28th. We created a series of videos and activities that discuss particular disabilities. This year, we'll be talking about mental health, dyslexia, physical disabilities, and communication disabilities. Our main goal is to teach the kids that we all have some type of ability, and we want to have our students be more empathetic and understanding towards others. So we're very excited that it's kicking off. It's going to be a pretty good week. Switching to remote this week, our teachers have stepped up to the plate, knocked it out of the park. They did an excellent job preparing our kids, prepping, and because of their hard work, there were no major issues. It was a good transition. Big thank you to Joe and Monica Paulin for helping with the disbursements of Chromebooks, so our kids had devices to work at home. And our fourth grade math team have been doing an excellent job preparing our kids for the upcoming air test. They have prepared various activities. One that we just talked about today, Candyland board game, where on the board, it's a virtual, each space is numbered. When you click on the number of the space, it takes you to an activity and a challenge, and if you complete that, it takes you to the next one. So it's kind of motivational for our kids, and they're doing a March Madness competition, and this is kind of neat. It's different, but all the math homeroom kids, they're switching rooms, and a different teacher is assigned a topic, and they're going to review that particular topic. So all the kids are going to have reviewed from a different teacher, a different perspective, and it's a big rotation. At the end, they're forming teams, and they're going to have a little competition at the end. So that's pretty exciting. And that's all we got from AIS.
Thank you. Austintown Elementary School, Dr. Young.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. You probably noticed that Austintown Elementary is not listed on the agenda. I promise you they have a lot going on. Like AIS, they just completed iReady math testing and are preparing for the iReady reading here in just a couple weeks. One of the highlights is they were awarded one of the 12 in the state, the Dyslexia Grant, that you'll see later on in the board agenda. And I wanted to let you know that the reason why Kathy Dorbish is not here presenting on behalf of AES is because she was nominated, and thanks to your voting, is now one of 3 finalists in the Science of Reading Standout Principal Award. So she is preparing for tonight's award ceremony. That information was posted on our district Facebook. I actually just checked and I found it. And anyone is welcome to join and cheer on Kathy, and we'll see if she's selected as the Principal of the Year for the Amplify Reading, Science of Reading Standout Principal. So I'm looking forward to that tonight at 6 p.m., and that's it for Austintown Elementary. Thanks.
Thank you. Number 8, treasurer's consent items. Upon the recommendation of the treasurer, approve the following items by consent action, A through D.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Number 9, superintendent's consent items. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following items by consent action, A through C.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Number 10, approve the recommendation to direct the superintendent to notify the Ohio Department of Education that the Austintown Local School District will again be an open enrollment district in the 2022-2023 school year. So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
No.
Number 11, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following personnel to serve on the multidisciplinary literacy team committee for the balance of the 21-22 school year at the rate of $20 per hour as listed below. So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Number 12, public meetings for February 2022. Work session will be Thursday, February 17th at 4 p.m. at the board office. The regular session will be following Thursday to February 17th at 5 p.m. here at AMS.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Yes. Mr. Porter? Yes. Mr. Sherwood?
Number 13, treasurer comments.
None.
Number 14, superintendent comments.
Yes, please. As Mr. Papagallo refers to, January is Board Appreciation Month. And I know that I can get that nice stuff today, but it's very much a thankful stuff. Because when things are good, people don't know what things are. When things are bad, they're doing really well. And the time you put into it, the discussions you have, the agreements, the disagreements, they happen. And so I can tell you this, with the Robin that just left, and thank her for her service last month. It's really all about the kids. It's all about the kids and you guys as well. On behalf of the state, we'd just like to recognize our board members. I hope I get this right. Fred, you're in year one. Congratulations. Thank you for what you're going to go through. Appreciate it. Now, Mark, you finished your 12.
Yep.
So thank you. And you for the kids here as well.
Thank you.
Carol, you finished 8 years. 10 years. So thank you for everything that you've done. And Mr. Sherwood, you are done with 4. So thank you. Appreciate it. And Kim, you just finished 2, right?
Right.
So thank you.
Thank
for
you.
everything as well. On behalf of Thank you.
Number 15, board comments.
Welcome Fred aboard and look forward to working with him.
I would too. Yes, I look forward to working with Fred. I know that he is ready to go and dig in and make an impact with the work that we're going to do together as a team. And I want to thank our administrative team too, Mr. Capizillo, Mr. Karlovic, for everything that you do on a daily basis to make things run smoothly, and also the teachers and our support staff too. This has been a really unique time, but I'm really proud of the work that our district does. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What can I say other than wow? I want to express what an honor it is to be able to serve and sit here for the upcoming 2022 year. On behalf of myself and everything I followed over the past 10 years with the school district, you know, I want to thank the staff, the department heads, the treasurer, the superintendent, and the board for all the hard work that's happened in transforming this school into what it is today. There's so much positivity. And the last thing I really want to say is I invite the public to come to these meetings. Don't come during just the bad times. Come during the good times too. When you could start hearing what a wonderful job the staff we have is doing out there with these kids. These kids, they're going to grow up and they're going to be mature, respectful, hardworking adults in society. So I challenge you to come see it. Fill this room every month. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. I also want to thank all our administrators and our staff. These past week, I know that everybody worked really hard to make sure our kids are still getting an education. I want to welcome Fred to the board, and that's it. Number 16, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Yes. Mr. Sherwood? Yes. Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
in association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.